Good morning, everybody. It is Letters to Santa Day. I hope you've been to the blog. If you haven't, it's Moda. Just in your search engine, put Moda blog. 3 things will pop up. The very first one is the cutting table, and that's the Moda blog. You want to click on that, even though it doesn't say anywhere on there that it's Letters for Santa. You just go ahead and click on there, and then when that opens up, you'll see Letters to Santa. And in the comments last time, somebody asked me what my background fabric is. I'm not sure you can still get this background fabric. I've had it a while. I bought a lot of it because I liked the white on white. And so I decided to use it. But here, I've got the name of it right here if Peter can get in really close. It's Coriander Seeds by Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts. Thank you. Couldn't read upside down. Moda Fabric Supplies, modafabrics.com, 100% cotton stock. And this is the problem. If you want to look it up, try to find it online. Number 29142. So that would be how you could find this. But let me tell you, there are so many white on whites that would work. I went out to see if we had any. We don't, but we have tons of other stuff. Stuff with snowflakes, stuff with little bitty dots, little cross hatches. I mean, all kinds of white on white. And any white on white's going to do, because once you get back far enough, you can't even really tell that it's white on white, that it even has a pattern. These were last month's blocks. The ornament. How cute did that turn out? I loved it. And then the poinsettia or poinsettia or however you say it. There it is. That was fun. But if you've hopped over to the blog, you already know what's coming up for this month. The first thing, I wanted to save those to last because that's what we're talking about today. I should have had these in order that I wanted to talk about. I'll just hide them back there. So, if you've not been to the blog, the first thing they did was to show you the blocks that we're going to do today. But I'm going to start out with the words. So, ho, ho, ho is one of the words for this time. And my friend Tammy, who you know I love so much.
Hi, Tammy.
And the reason I don't have all my blocks with me is because I forgot. I had to send her letters back, and in her letters I sent my other blocks. So I'm going to visit her in November, so I'll pick those up and I'll have those for the November, the very last episode of Letters to Santa. But from the words ho, 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 she designed this cute banner. Isn't that cute? I love that. It'd be so fun on your front door. Maybe you could hang a wreath with Santa's face on it or something. I don't know. But get some inspiration from Tammy's Ho 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 banner. And that would be all the instructions you get to download right off of the website, off the blog. Now, I do want to remind you, you have to have this pattern right here by Primitive Gatherings, Mini Alphabet Quilt by Primitive Gatherings. You have to have that, and we have them here in stock in order to do the letters, to get the increments for the letters, all the measurements. So, some of the other words are love, which you could use for Valentine's Day, or love Granny, or love Mimi, or love Nana. How many words are there for Grandma? How come they just can't say Grandma? I don't know. But I guess it's hard for some little kids, so they just say what they can say. So love is a fun word to have. And ornaments. Now, they're not giving you the measurements for the letters. They're only giving you the measurements for the sashings. You know, the way you want to border the letters out to make the word fit in the space that is provided in the quilt. If you're not doing the quilt, that's okay. And on the blog this month, they have a bunch of Halloween ideas. One of the alternate blocks is a tombstone. It is so cute. You got to go see that. That is really, really fun. So, and then there's cider. Very nice. And ribbons. We have a lady here that makes the most beautiful ribbons, bows out of ribbon. She's very talented. So anyway, there's our letters to Santa for this month. And then our alternate blocks that we're going to be making today are, this is called Full Heart, and I'm excited about this because I get to use some of my bigger prints that are in my collection of things that I've been using, fabrics that I've been using. And then there's where they go in the quilt. You're making 3 of them. So they even made one of them in green. And then there's 2 red ones. So mix it up a little bit. And then this is called Granny's Kisses. X's and O's. Get it? Hugs and kisses. And the X's are the kisses. So that's pretty cute. I think that's pretty clever. And instead of mine being red and green and white in this 9 patch here, I have fussy cut something to go in the middle of mine. So I'm anxious to talk to you about that. And then here's the page that talks about where they go in the layout if you're doing the quilt. If you're not doing the quilt, these are still fun to upload or download, however you load, for even anything that you want to use. These are just really cute blocks. And nothing says you have to make them this size. I mean, you could leave the borders off and just have cute little blocks, okay? You could make yourself a little miniature Christmas quilt with all these fun alternate blocks. So I love that. I love collecting those little blocks. They're so fun. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine yet, but I'm sure it's going to be something fun that I will enjoy playing with. So I'm going to put those aside. And what I'm going to get out is a fabric here. And when I cut, if you've watched any of my other videos, I always like to cut strips and then subcut from my strips. I find that that saves fabric. But look what I did. Look what I did! This is a fussy cut. And when you fussy cut, you do waste some fabric, I gotta say. That's why I don't do it very often. But it's pretty funny how you can just lay your ruler down. In this instance, it had to be a 1.5 inch square. So what I like to do is I like to take a piece of blue tape, that painter's tape, and I like to block out everything that's not 1.5 inch. And then I can move that ruler that's blocked out on my fabric to see what would fit in that 1.5 inch to get a cute little fussy cut out of that. I know we fussy cut the first month because we did that little Santa in the house. Remember that? Well, I thought, well, we got to have another fussy cut because we don't need just one. We need more than one. So what I did was I took and I fussy cut this little 1.5 inch Santa making an angel. Making a snow angel. Isn't that so cute? So anyway, so I'm going to start out by sewing my 9 patch. And it's pretty simple. I feel a little disorganized today. I don't know why.
It's because it's Friday.
It's Friday. We always blame it on the day of the week. The poor day of the week. Okay. So here's our... And when I lay my fabric out, if I'm using tone on tone, I'm going to make sure that my fabric is upright so that I'm not sewing. Because it'd be easy to sew that on upside down. But if you do, you just take it out. It's fabric. What do you say? Okay, where's my little guy? There he is. So he's the center of attention right there. He's so cute. And then this is going to be the 9 patch. Peter's tummy's growling. Can you hear that? Peter, did you not have breakfast?
I did. I had Almond Joy.
Oh, an Almond Joy for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good for your blood sugar. Okay, so now here's the corner blocks for my 9 patch. And again, I just really, see how I just love to play with my fabric and just, I really enjoy my fabric. I don't want to rush through this because, you know, once it's done, it's done. And then we're going to set this on point, and that's going to be fun to do. So let me get this 9 patch sewn up pretty quick. And then we'll set that on point, and you're going to see what happens.
Does that change the direction of Santa in the center?
It will. He's making a snow angel. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he can be on an angle. Because when you make snow angels, just however you fall in the snow, that's how it goes. Yeah, he's going to be on his side. But that's okay. Have you ever made a snow angel, Peter?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
I bet your snow angel was pretty tall.
It was a big one.
Big snow angel. Was it when you was a kid or an adult?
Kid.
Oh, really? Well, maybe not so big.
Little
then.
baby.
Little baby. Just right out of the womb, I'm making snow angels.
I was making snow angels in the womb. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness, was there snow in your mother's womb? That's pretty scary. For your mother.
Well, you move your arms and legs around.
Yeah. I guess. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So, on my way to work today, I was thinking about letters to Santa, of course, passing through all the Halloween decorations. That was very confusing to me. Very confusing. But people go wild for this Halloween decoration stuff. And in our communities, I don't know about your communities, but in our communities, we're starting to do trunk or treat. And people are giving out candy out of the trunks of their cars, and they're meeting like at schools and churches. And so they were decorating the parking lot of one of the schools this morning because the trunk or treat was going to be in a big school bus. Isn't that fun?
That's the first time I've heard of that.
Are you kidding? Mm-mm. Trunk or treat, you mean? Or in a school bus?
No, trunk or treat. That's the first time I've heard trunk or treat.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, we've been doing that here for quite a while. Well,
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, you know when all the scares happen with the candy being tainted and all that, that's when the community started doing that so that, you know, they would give out reputable candy. The firehouse used to give out candy too. The firefighters, they would hand out candy at the fire station. I thought that was pretty nice too. Gets the kids familiar with the people in their community that serve and protect. Now, have any of you started your Christmas shopping? Peter, have you started Christmas shopping?
I started making some Christmas socks.
Oh, really? Are you giving everybody Christmas socks this year?
No,
Oh. I was getting my hopes up there for a
just my left foot and my right foot.
Speaking of socks, got my Christmas socks
I
on
saw
again
them.
today.
I thought those were fun.
Yeah, Christmas socks. Love my socks.
I like the Moda socks. They have the best
Yeah.
socks
Peter
for
gave
sewing
me a
and
pair
quilting.
of Halloween socks, but I don't have anything purple to wear them with. They're purple, so I got to get me a purple top.
Can't believe you don't own purple, Dawn.
Well, it's...
Is that not your color? You like green.
Yeah,
Green's your
I love
color.
my green. You know, I usually wear red for letters to Santa. If you look back on all the videos, I'm in red. So I thought I'd mix it up a little bit today and wear the green. Because, you know, I might wear green next time too. Who knows? According to what mood I'm in. Okay, here we go. I always put it back right on my board as I took it off because I don't want to make any mistakes, even though sometimes I do. I'm going to flip that over and sew this on.
Are you going to pin?
Yes, I'm going to pin. Of course I'm going to pin. What kind of a question is that? Of course, you know, there's nothing hard about this. It's just fun to sit and sew together. It's fun to see what fabrics everybody picks. That's why I enjoy the blogs so much, is you go there and people are just full of ideas that inspire you to do other things with these letters. Now, I was thinking to myself, I said, self, I said, we've talked about Christmas words. We've talked about Halloween words. We've talked about cookies and Christmas movies. But you know what we've left out is Thanksgiving
Oh, I thought you were going to
words.
say horse breeds.
Oh, no, you can do that. Put that on the blog. Okay? Thanksgiving words. How many Thanksgiving decorations do we have? I don't have very many Thanksgiving decorations.
What's that little cone-shaped thing
A
that
cornucopia.
people put stuff in for fall?
Yeah, that's a cornucopia.
Is that a Thanksgiving decoration?
That is. And you could use the word cornucopia in your king-size quilt. Can you imagine? Wonder how many letters cornucopia has in it. Somebody tell us on the blog, on the comments. How many letters cornucopia has? Anything with the word corn in it, I'm up for, because I love corn. Corn on the cob, cream corn, corn casserole. I love all that stuff. I've been thinking about making a big pot of vegetable stew. Vegetable soup, whatever you want to call it. What's the difference between soup and stew, Peter?
Stew's thicker, soup's thinner.
Oh, okay. Well, then I like it stew then, because I like a thicker, heartier.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom, she used to make it, and I'll tell you what.
The soup or the stew?
The soup or the stew, I can't remember. Well, it would have been stew because
Stew.
I think she put 40 pounds of beef in her vegetable beef soup. It was ridiculous. And we would eat on that all winter long because, she would freeze it in, portions.
Did it stick to your ribs?
Look at that. How cute that is. Yeah, it stuck to your ribs. Now, to set it on point, this is what we're going to do. I forgot my trimmer today, so we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way,
Oh,
okay?
I like old-fashioned.
Yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to put these corner blocks on. And I'm going to fold this one right sides together. Right sides together. And I'm going to pinch. So I'm going to actually just find the middle of that block. I'll do this other end at the same time. I'm finding the middle. And see, right sides are together. Now I'm going to take my triangles. And this was just a 3-inch block cut in half. So this is bias right here. And I'm going to put wrong sides together. Where before I put right sides together, I'm going to put wrong sides together. And I'm going to pinch. And the reason I do one fabric right sides together and one fabric wrong sides together is so that that fold will nest right inside of each other. And then that gives me a truer, more accurate position to lay my triangle in. I'm going to do both sides at the same time. Right sides together, wrong sides together. See? And then just pinch. Now be careful because that's bias. So you don't want to really, move it around a lot. And then they just nestle right into each other. I love that. But if I had my corner trimmer, I'd be using it. Forgot about it today. It's at home on my sewing table. Okay. Dad has gotten into a habit of breaking my thread right here and taking it to his bedroom. Every night I go in and there's a cone of thread on Dad's nightstand. So he's fascinated with my thread on my sewing machine. I don't know why. It's a phase. It'll come and go. But that's how they are. And he's getting to be so stubborn. Woo! That boy has a stubborn streak.
Huh.
Okay, now
I wonder
remember.
if that runs in the family.
Yeah, probably. And so, he's not really my dad. So.
Oh.
So
I
you're
wonder if it
sewing-
still runs in the family.
Yeah. It rubs off. So.
Yeah, it rubs off. That's what I meant to say.
Of
Picking up
course,
some of that vibe.
of course, I'm sewing on the bias, so you know I'm being very careful about that. And now, before I open it up, I'm going to go ahead and cut my corn kernels off. Here in Indiana, we call these little triangles corn kernels. Well, I wouldn't even say here in Indiana. I'd say here in the...
Always in Stitches.
Meet me at the sewing machine.
Studio.
We just cut those little triangles off and we call them corn kernels.
Or in October, could you call them candy corns?
Ooh, you could.
Just
'cause
for
they
October.
They are shaped
Then we can
like...
go back to candy corn.
Yeah,
Or corn kernels. Yeah.
They are shaped like little candy corns, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Let's open those up. Press that open. Boy, I don't think that Almond Joy did its job today, Peter. I think your tummy needs some more nourishment. Okay, so there's that.
I think I have some more Almond Joy on my desk.
Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Right sides together on the fabric. Both sides at the same time. I mean, opposite sides at the same time. There you go. Pinch that. Get your two triangles. Again, these were made from 3-inch squares, just like it says on your pattern. And then you cut them in half on the diagonal. And that gives you the correct size here for your triangles to turn your square on point. So, if you ever have a square and you want it to be bigger, but you want something a little bit more classier than just a border or a little bit different look, you could always turn your block on point by putting these triangles on the sides. So let's say, for instance, if I had wanted my, where'd my other blocks go?
The lady that does the embroidery work is not in today, but she's gonna
Don't know what I did with them. Oh, here they are.
And it'd probably be best if you bring it in and talk to her in short.
If I had wanted this to be on point, which that's not a good, well, neither one of these are very, very good because they wouldn't look good on point. But if you ever had a block and you wanted to put it on point, this is the way to do it. You just, instead of bordering it with straight pieces, you would do these triangles. And on the internet, which, you know, there's everything on the internet, you can probably find out the size of the formula, because there is a formula to determine what size triangle you need for what size block. Now here at Always in Stitches, we have all kinds of books that talk about quilt math, and that would be something that would be in one of those books, but it's online everywhere. How to set blocks on point. That's what you'd look up. Probably on YouTube. But it's a fun way to set your blocks. Oh, I'm going to cut these off. Again, my little corn kernels, or as Peter wants to call them, candy corns. And then I'm going to press these open. But this is the most important tip I'm going to give you, and that is you need to make sure that this block at this point is the size it's supposed to be. But you don't want to cut off your points, and I'll show you what I mean as soon as I get there. So for such a small little block, this has got a lot of good tips in it and a lot of good procedures to make this little block that you can add to other blocks. So there he is. You know, he's turning all which ways. I like him that way, I think. So I'm going to keep him that way. But I'm going to take my ruler. And how big do you think he needs to be? Well, he needs to be as big as this piece right here. So whatever you cut this piece,
Order department?
this piece is 4.5. Now let me show you something on the instructions. Like I said, I feel so discombobulated today.
Okay.
What did I do with my instructions? They give you so many. They're under here. Okay. All right. It says that E is supposed to be 4.5 by 1. Okay? So, 4.5, then that should be 4.5. So I'm going to lay my ruler down. And it is 4 7/8. 4 7/8. When it was supposed to be 4.5. But, and this is tricky, but as I look at my pattern, look, those corners get cut off. Do you see that? They get cut off. Those are not supposed to be points. So don't get upset with yourself that you're going to cut those points off because it is part of the design. All right? Yes, just like here. See? So trim to 4.5 by 4.5. So let me get my little thing. And people are going to go crazy and wild because they're cutting those points off. And how many times do I tell you, when you're sizing something up, don't cut those points off. Okay, you've got to find the middle here. So half of 4.5 would be 2 3/4. Is that right?
Did you say half of 4.5?
Half of 4.5
2
is
1/4.
2 1/4 to 2.5. 2 and 2 is 4. Yeah, 2 1/4. Thank you, Peter. Okay, so 2 1/4. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to look at 2 1/4. Now, see, this would be the time. Ooh, I don't want to do that because those are set for my other project. This would be the time when you would go 2 1/4 with your little arrows, and over here 2 1/4 to kind of remind yourself. It's supposed to be 2 1/4. So you're going to line this diagonal and this diagonal with 2 1/4. 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and down here where my name is, I really can't see that that's 2 1/4, but it is 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and you are just going to shave those points right off of there. 2 1/4. I'm kind of looking around here to make sure those are kind of straight, and then I'm going to cut this off. So it's a good thing we're doing this together, because if you were to do this at home and cut your points off, you'd be kind of sad. But if you look at the pattern, that's the way they're doing it. 2 1/4, 4.5. Now I just hold my ruler at 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Looking at everything, and everything looks hunky-dory. And so there is that. So now see how I've just got my points, but when I sew a 1/4 inch in, that's going to take some of those points away. And am I going to pin? Why, yes I am, right there in that seam that's underneath me, so it doesn't flip up. I'm going to sew that. And I'll do the other side, making sure my white on white is
Whatever's on the back of the purple thing.
the right sides together.
Purple thing. Now you can scan it, but all it's gonna do.
But I want you to see how this takes that point off.
It's not gonna give you the name.
And because my triangle is a different fabric, it's going to show up more prevalent than if you use the same fabric. Because I don't know if you noticed or not, but in the design, see, this is the background, this is the background, this is the background. I made my D's a different fabric. So this is going to stand out more on mine than it actually would on the actual block if you use all the backgrounds. But I wanted to use that little sparkly star fabric because I've been itching to do it. And this was my opportunity. So I took it because I love that little star fabric. I could just have yards and yards of that stuff. Look at how cute he is. Oh, he's so cute. He's jolly old St. Nicholas. Ho, ho, ho. Have fun while you're quilting. Make it a fun time. I feel like Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood. Make a happy quilt block. Oh, that was Bob Ross. Happy little clouds. Happy, happy. Okay, so that's the side of my block. So this is how it's going to look. And see, really, when you stand back, you just see the X mostly. And that's what you want to see, is because it's Grandma's Kisses. Grandma's Kisses. So then I would sew those on, and then I would trim it down. Because these are oversized. These measurements are oversized. And when you finish, you're supposed to trim it down to 5.5 by 7.5. So that's what I would do once I sewed those in. Okay? Isn't that cute? Don't you just love him? I'll get that done before next time. Let's go on to the heart of the matter. Now the heart's pretty straightforward. Got your borders. Always sew those side borders on first. That's how the directions are. I'm going to get those side borders out. I always like to lay my block out. Do you have a big family, Peter? Do you have a big Christmas ta-da? No? See, we don't either anymore. Okay. These are going to be my corners for the bottom of my heart. And these are going to be my flying geese. And see, I fussy cut out of this big print. I've been wanting to use this large scale print. And this is my opportunity to do that. So, these are going to be my flying geese. Let me get the pattern out in front of me. Here it is. So my flying geese are going to go that way and the angles are going to go that way. So I want to make sure that I put my fabric on the correct way.
Your light bulbs. Don't cover up your light bulbs.
And so here we go. It's going to be fun. We've made flying geese together before, I think. And if you don't have this magic tape that I have down on my sewing machine, you'd need to draw a line from diagonal to diagonal. And like I said, she made, the designer made one of the hearts green, and I have this very same fabric in that collection with the ornaments that is green. So I'll be having to make me a green heart. I'll be probably making me 2 green hearts and only 1 red heart because green's my favorite color. See, that's the whole point of doing this, because it's your way. Your way. You get to do it your way. You get to change the words if you want to. You get to be in charge of what fabrics you use. It's so fun when you can be a little creative, use the basics of what they're putting down, you know, use their patterns, use the letters, but then you can do your own thing. So here, I'm going to just press those open. And I'm going to have 2 half ornaments. I should have just planned it so I had one in the middle. I may redo those. Because now I'm just going to have 2 little half ornaments. I'm not going to like that as much. Well, you know, I get 2 more chances. Because I've got to make 3 of them, right? So, maybe I'll do that before I sew it together next time, okay? These flying geese are so cute when they're this size. We have Christmas music playing in the background. You probably can't hear it. But the boss is away, and so when the boss is away, Nancy plays Christmas music anytime. Because she loves Christmas. She'd have her Christmas tree up right now if her family would let her. She's a Christmas gal. Okay, and you see I'm just using my scissors to cut this. I could have moved over a 1/2 inch and sewed, and I'd have a little baby one. I'll show you what I mean. Before I cut it, it would have been easier to sew it because I wouldn't be sewing on the bias loosey-goosey like that. But now I'm going to have me an extra baby. Maybe I can use it somewhere down the line. I'm going to go ahead and press all this open. I'll show you what I mean on the next one. On this one, I'll show you what I mean by moving over. Okay, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to sew on the diagonal. And again, I'm using my tape to line up. Because right here, this red line is my needle line. It's where my thread, my stitch is going to go. Now, I'm going to take that out of the machine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over a 1/2 inch. Now, what I could do is I could mark it, but because I have my tape, there's my there's my seam line. Here's a 1/4 inch away from my seam line, and here's a 1/2 inch from my seam line. So I'm going to put that seam that I just sewed on the 1/2 inch mark. And then I'm going to just sew, guiding that seam I just sewed on the 1/2 inch mark. So this one I sewed after I cut it. It's easier to sew it before you cut it, and then you just cut between the lines. And before I would open these up, you see, I would size them. And I probably can get a 1.5 inch half square triangle out of this piece that normally would have just been thrown away. Cut off my corn kernels. These are all just fun little tips. Whoop! That wasn't good, was it? And see, when I open that up, that's a perfect half square triangle. That's 1.5 inches, and now I would have 2 of them to play with later on to make something fun. Actually what I would do is I'd take those home and put them in my 1.5 inch scraps. And then someday I'll get all those half square triangles out and sew them together into a little design. Make me a little quilt. Maybe put them along the top of a stocking or something. I'd do something fun with them, but I wouldn't be throwing them away. That's for sure. I'm frugal when it comes to my fabrics. Very frugal. Did you know you can put me on 2 times speed and watch this in half the time?
But you gotta mute it.
Oh no, you can't mute it. You
Well,
gotta
you
listen
sound
to
like-
me just like a
You
chipmunk.
sound like a chipmunk.
I sound like a chipmunk because I talk so fast. But that's okay.
Or you could skip to the end.
No, don't skip to the end.
See how the blocks turned out.
Because you miss out on all this fun tips and tricks. So now, see how that makes a heart? I'm not going to sew these in because I'm going to do a better job at fussy cutting them. And then you would just put the borders on. They'd all fit once your seams got all sewn in. That's going to be, the other one was Grandma's Kisses, and this one is Full Heart. Isn't that sweet? So I'm glad I got to use that fabric. I'm going to do a better job fussy cutting. This next time I'm just going to put one in the center, and so then and you'll see that next month, okay? So visit the blog at Moda. Go to the Moda blog and download or upload or however you load. When you bring something from one website to your printer, is that downloading or uploading, Peter?
You're downloading the PDF file.
You're downloading the PDF file.
And then you're hitting print.
And then you hit print. Oh my gosh, so sophisticated.
Or, if these people are really sophisticated,
Yeah.
they just download it to their tablets, and then they don't even have to print it. They just
Oh,
can
they
have
just
their
read it from their
tablet
tablet?
sitting on their...
Oh my goodness.
Their little
And then they always
stand.
have it. Forever
Yeah.
and ever. They could put it in a folder. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's too techy
They can
for
put
me.
it in an electronic folder.
Yeah, I like to have the
Moda,
papers.
and then all the Moda projects they can keep in a folder called Moda.
Yeah. I'm going to put mine all in a notebook because I'm a
But
paper
you have a
person.
tablet.
I do have a tablet. I could do all that, but I like
Don't you want a backup copy?
No, I want
Oh.
this copy right here.
Okay.
So, no, I'm from that generation. You know, I'm not from Peter's generation where everything is technology.
You might want to save it to a flash drive.
You know what? I could just go to Moda and get some more if I needed them. So,
It's a long drive.
it is a long drive. But I'm going there in November.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. I'm excited to go there in
Who are you
November.
gonna see?
Because Tammy and work at Moda. We're
Tell
gonna.
Corey I said hi.
I will tell Corey you said hi. Corey who?
Yoder.
She's in Ohio. She's nowhere near Texas.
Well, doesn't she go to Texas for these
Well, sometimes
shindigs?
she does. Sometimes
Well, then
she
say
does.
hi to her.
If she has a fabric line coming out. So, anyway, excited to do letters to Santa, letters for Halloween, letters for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, all the letters all the time. Get busy. Bye.